It seems like a lot of people are kind of freaking out about the price of gold and silver right now. Those precious metals that are specifically historically looked at as safe haven assets have definitely taken a little bit of a hit this last week, or even going back these last couple of weeks, that actually extends even before the election. But since the election, we have seen gold and silver take a pretty massive dip, which is the polar opposite of basically every other market. We can look at the S&P 500 that hit record highs. Bitcoin hit record highs. Dogecoin has made massive gains as well. I don't know if those are record highs, but if you would have bought Dogecoin like a week ago, you would have doubled your money at this point or something like that. Don't quote me, but I know it's a huge gain. Silver and gold, on the other hand, have not done that. So let's take a look at this chart over here. And by the way, this is on SD Bullion's website. They are a channel sponsor of mine. And if you guys are looking for some great silver deals, head over there. Check out the Docs Deals page. They are a great company to buy silver from. And again, I'm sponsored by them. So thank you to SD Bullion. But let's take a look here at this chart, okay? So this is a 1 month chart, but this is what we're looking at, just 1 month. And this, by the way, this is something you need to think about. Gold and silver may have taken a hit over this last couple of weeks. It may have taken a hit after the election, but look at October 14th, 31.19. Today we are sitting at $30.92. So it's down barely from just 1 month ago. What we did, however, see is right here, and a lot of people got excited about this. I even got a little bit excited, although I had kind of timed poorly a silver purchase right here, but we went from $31.69 to $33.71, and then here on October 22nd, we hit almost $35 an ounce. And depending on the website that you checked, because Kitco didn't do it, SD Bullion didn't show it, obviously, they're showing $34.86 as the peak that day. But there are a couple of online retailers that did show $35 an ounce, but regardless, it hit almost, we're gonna call it almost 35, not quite there. But we had a pretty big correction just the following day from 34 to 33.70. It dropped $1 back, and it held there before it gained back, and then we started to decline. Now this decline right here, we went from 34 to 32 in just a couple of days. This was before the election. Right here, this is election day, Tuesday, November 5th. The following day, the markets reacted. We went from 32.66 to 31.18. And we can look at gold. It basically did the exact same thing. We had a climb, we had some peaks. Bam, election day, huge drop. Bit of a recovery the following day, but since then we have had a steady decline. Now, if we compare that to what happened with Bitcoin, and you can see it had a little bit of a rise here as well before the election, but it was right here, right at the election. We were at 69,000 per coin. The following day, 75. We did not have a corrective dip right here. It just continued to slowly gain. And then all of a sudden we go from 76 to 80 to 88 to 88 to $91,708. And those gains are reflected in so many other markets right now that aren't gold and silver. I mean, my investment portfolio has gained like 20%. I mean, not exactly, but nearly 20% in the last week. I mean, look at the S&P. Like I said the other day, you can see right here that it had its first ever close above 6,000 at 6,001.35 on Monday. And while it's had a slight pullback, it's still basically where it was then. I mean, it's really close. And Tesla is another stock that I have in my portfolio. You can see we had Monday, it closed at $350 a share. And again, a small correction, but still massive gains from where it was just a week ago. But while all of these markets are going up, like we just showed you, gold and silver, like I showed you at the beginning of this video, is on the other side of the hill, just kind of rolling down the hill. Why? Why is gold and silver going down while all of these other markets are going up? Well, keep in mind that I'm not a financial analyst or a financial advisor. I do not have any idea what gold and silver is going to do tomorrow, next week, or next year. But what I do know is gold and silver is looked at as a safe haven asset. And with the results of the election, there's a lot of people that believe this election was going to make a dent, basically going to decide which way our economy went. So if it went one way, the economy is going to continue to struggle. If it goes another way, we're actually going to see a pretty good recovery in the economy. And that has happened. 100% that has happened. The dollar has gained strength. The markets have gained strength. Crypto has gained massive gains. And a lot of people, in my belief here, is that they're, instead of putting their money into gold and silver, are putting it elsewhere because they want to take advantage of that gain. I mean, look at this. The day before the election, November 4th, Monday, we had 15 cents per coin for Dogecoin. And if you actually go back a month's time, it was actually down to 11 right here. Imagine if you would have bought 15-cent Dogecoin. Let's not even look at 11. Let's say you bought it the day before the election. Well, if you would have put $1,000 into Dogecoin Monday, November 4th, today you would have nearly $3,000. Not quite, but really close, up 282% over the last month. Let's look at Tesla the day before. I already talked about this, but the day before the election, 242.84. If you would have put, a few $1,000s into that, you would have gained a massive amount from 242 to 324. You would have gained $80 a share. So let's say you were able to buy 7 or 8 shares. That would have been like $600 gained in just a couple of days. And those are massive gains, and those aren't the only ones. Across the market, you're seeing massive gains like that. So there's a lot of people getting excited, a lot of people getting what we like to call FOMO, or fear of missing out. They are fearing that they're going to miss out on this huge rise in the markets, and they want to take advantage of it. And to do so, they might be selling gold and silver. And I'll be honest, I'd be a filthy liar if I sat here and told you that I wasn't a little disappointed that I didn't jump into the markets when it happened. And I'd be a filthy liar if I sat here and told you that if I knew that Doge was going to double or triple again, or Bitcoin, or whatever stock, or whatever, if I knew that something was going to double or triple value over the next week, I'd be a filthy liar if I sat here and I told you that I wouldn't take all of my gold and silver and sell it. Even if I had to take a hit, taking it to a coin shop, selling it below spot, whatever. If I knew I could double or triple my money, why wouldn't I do that? Because then I would then sell that asset and turn it back into gold and silver and be smiling as I double my stack and add money to my fiat savings as well. Maybe I'd put some of that into a different market. I don't know. My point is, absolutely, I would if I knew it. But it's a gamble. It's a risk. Especially crypto is a massive risk. And I don't like to gamble. I've been to Vegas 3 times in my life. All 3 times I went, I did not gamble. Well, I did a little. My dad, the first year I went, gave me a $100 bill and he said, use it on the slots, and if you win, we'll split it. But I didn't gamble my own money because I just don't like to gamble. I worked way too hard for the money that I've earned to throw it into a slot machine or, give it all to the casino. That's the way I look at it. If you do it, that's fine. I'm not judging others. I'm just saying that's the way I look at it. So I look at crypto as a massive gamble with the ability to have a really high upside, but also the risk of having a very, very bad low side. Let's imagine that you put $100,000 into Bitcoin today, and then it went from 90 to 60 over the next week instead of doubling, whatever. So that's not a risk I'm willing to take. I look at gold and silver as a non-risk asset. I look at gold and silver as a savings, as a safe haven asset, as a savings account that isn't the fiat dollar. I look at gold and silver as going to continue to maintain the value that it's maintained over the course of years. Example, I've said it before, the silver quarter, 1964, gallon of gas, today, gallon of gas. What that means is in 1964, a gallon of gas was roughly a quarter, maybe 27 cents. Today, I could take a silver quarter and get well more than a gallon of gas if I were to sell it to a coin shop and take the cash. And the same can be said for gold. A $20 gold piece back then would have got you a nice tailored suit. Today, a $20 gold piece will still get you a nice tailored suit if you sell it first, or maybe if you have a tailor that accepts gold as payment, but you get the idea. But I do believe that gold and silver over the long course of time is going to continue to maintain and hold that value in exchange for goods and services. That's what it's going to do, and that's why I stack it. Like, I'd be very happy if it also doubled or tripled its, exchange in goods and services power. Like, if, 10 years from now, I could take an ounce of silver and get 50 gallons of gas instead of what it'd get you today, which is like 4 or 5, or, well, actually, I guess it would be more like 10 or 11. But you get the point. If I could get more gold or more gallons of gas for gold and silver in 10, 15 years than I can today, that'd be great. But as long as it continues to maintain that buying power, that's why I continue to stack it. Now, there is an argument to be made, though, that gold and silver, especially silver, could be worth more because, as I've said on this channel before, silver is an industrial metal as well as a precious metal. And many people look at many different avenues as to why silver should actually be worth more because it has such a high demand in industry. And it's also a precious metal. And I know there's a cliche out there of people saying, oh, well, silver's going to go up in value because of solar panels. But I did read this article I wanted to share with you. So I'm not going to read you the entire article, but I do want to read these 2 paragraphs. And this is about silver's increasing industrial demand. And this is a part of the reason that I believe silver should actually be worth more in the future than it is today in exchange for goods and services. But let's read these 2 paragraphs right here out of this article. You can read the whole thing if you want to see it yourself. But it says, the solar industry continues to absorb substantial silver supply with demand expected to increase due to the expanding global capacity for solar power and advances in photovoltaic technology, which rely heavily on silver. This shift is enhancing silver's importance in the green energy sector, establishing a growing demand that extends beyond traditional uses. Now, this right here, I want to highlight. Establishing a growing demand that extends beyond traditional uses. This is what I'm talking about. You know, back in 1964 in that silver quarter, silver wasn't being used for much outside of just being a precious metal and used as money. Today, and as jewelry and, you know, candlesticks and sterling silver, you get what I'm saying. It was not actually being used in industry for reasons like, you know, EV batteries and solar energy and, you know, basically in every electronic you can imagine. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why I think silver should be worth more today than it was back then, not just the same. But it goes on to say that silver's long-term price prospects look strong, with renewable energy acting as a key driver. As more countries invest in solar installations, demand for silver in photovoltaic systems is likely to grow, supporting its market value. This unique industrial demand, alongside silver's reputation as a safe haven asset, provides a solid foundation for long-term price growth, even with short-term fluctuations in the metals market. So again, I know that talking about solar panels being a driver in silver price is very cliche, but I think that what he said there can absolutely be extended into other avenues, into other industrial demands for silver. You know, when we talk about EVs and basically all modern electronics, that's demand that did not exist back in the 60s. And I think that's the reason, like I said, that silver should really be worth more today in exchange for goods and services than it was back then. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. I would love to know your thoughts in today's video, what you thought about what I had to say, and what do you think the future for silver looks like? Are you stacking more? Are you buying the dip? I'd love to know. So let me know with a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos and support the channel. Hit the like button, and we will see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.